Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to week one of this business basics from Elevate Winslow. I am excited to be here and to begin this journey with you as we work together through the first steps of turning your business idea into something clear, organized, and ready to grow. Before we jump into the content, we are going to take a short facilitator and participant introduction time. So if you're watching this video, feel free to just place your introduction in the comments. And so I'll start by briefly introducing myself. My name is Alex Magallanes. I am a business advisor for 10 plus years. And I've been in the entrepreneurial development industry, if you will, for that long of a time. Excuse me. And I started working with first as a lender, and then I moved on to do other things, such as just providing a lot of technical assistance in the marketing aspect. Now, one of the things that I've learned through entrepreneurial development, every time someone starts a business, it doesn't have to be perfect. Some of you may already have a business, and some of you only have an idea. And then some of us, right, or some of you are still choosing between a few ideas. And so all of those start at a point, and that's what I've seen throughout my trajectory as a business advisor. And so even, wherever you are, what we are about to embark here in this journey, it applies to everyone. And so if you're feeling like some of these concepts I already know, I already covered, it's always good to revisit these concepts, even if you already have an established business, so that maybe it helps you rethink your strategy, right? Maybe you already started your business, but there will be some things that you're going to learn in this class, and it's going to help you either grow your business on a better trajectory, or maybe rethink a few things. And so that's always good. So now that we have done introductions, this is what we're going to cover today. This is the roadmap for today. We are going to begin with your why. And this is because business ownership can be exciting, but it can also be hard. And so your why helps you keep going when things get slow, stressful, or even in times of uncertainty. So the why is very important. Then we will talk about your vision and mission statements. Your vision is where you want to go, and your mission is what you're going to do every day to get there. After that, we'll be discussing or choosing the right name for your business. And again, if you already have a name for your business, the principles that we are going to teach you may help you rethink or strengthen that strategy around your business name. A name is definitely something more than just something that just sounds nice. It's really the first impression, if you will, when it comes to marketing tools on how people are going to meet, right, your business. And so we'll look into that as well. And then we will move into business structures, and business structures such as sole proprietorships, LLCs. We'll discuss EINs, which stand for Employer Identification Numbers. And then we'll also discuss Arizona's TPT license, the City of Winslow business license considerations, so on and so forth. Now, if you feel like, oh man, that's already a lot, and I don't understand some of these terms, don't worry. We're going to break down all of these details for you in this class. And so again, the goal today, it's not to turn you into a lawyer, right, or an accountant or a licensed expert. The goal is to help you understand the basic decisions that, as an entrepreneur, that you should be aware of, either before launching your business or continue growing your business. So let's talk about why business basic matters, right? These basics are really the foundations to build a very strong business. Just like anything else, when you're building something, it needs to have a strong foundation. And so many people start business because they have a skill, or they started doing, a food product, or they are really passionate about something they do. Maybe they learn how to cook, maybe they learn how to clean, how to repair something, how to design, whatever the case is. And that is always a great beginning. But the skill itself, it's not the whole business. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that if you started a business because you're very good at something and you're like, huh, maybe I can monetize this, that's just the start, because the skill itself, it's not the whole business. Business basics matter because they help you avoid problems later. If you choose a name too quickly, you might find out someone else is already using it, and that puts you in a bind, right? And then if you start mixing personal and business money when it comes tax time, it's going to be very stressful. So if you sell a taxable item without checking the requirements with the state of Arizona, you may create issues with the state or even sometimes the city of Winslow. And so, what we're trying to help you here is to understand the business basics, how structures work, and so that you can lower your risk later down the line. Today's about really slowing down enough to make better decisions and then have a clear foundation will give you that confidence when you're speaking to customers and to lenders and to City of Winslow staff, vendors, potential customers, and clients, and even your own family. So let's get started with understanding your why. Your why is the emotional and practical reason you are building this business. It is not just a slogan. It's definitely something that you say, or excuse me, it's not only something that you will say under marketing, it will be something that it's deeper, a deeper reason behind the work that you're doing through your business. Now, some people start a business because they want more financial independence, and that's always good. Some other people may want to start a business because of the flexibility it brings to their family. Some other people want to start a business because they really want to bring a solution to a problem they see in their community. And maybe that's you. Whatever the case is, your why really matters. The why matters because business ownership comes with challenges. Customers sometimes are going to cancel on you. Sales are going to be slow at some point, and you may get tired or discouraged. So when that happens, your why is what will become your anchor. So in this curriculum, the why is described as your North Star. It helps you stay aligned with your values and your goals. So let me give you an example. I'm building this business because I want to start to create a stable income for my family. I want to start this business because I want to help busy families in Winslow by providing a reliable service so they have more time and less stress. You see, that why it has two clear whys. One is because I want to build stable income for my family and I want to help busy families. And so start thinking about the why of your business. And so to do that, we created this template. Use this sentence to start framing your why. For example, I'm building this business because fill in the blank. I want to help fill in the blank by fill in the blank so that fill in the blank. So let's break it down. First, why are you building this business? Think about that. Second, who do you want to help? That's the second blank. Third, how do you want to help them? And fourth, what change do you want to create? So let me give you an example. If I had a cleaning business, as an owner, I might say, I am building this business because I want to support my family through dependable work. I want to help working parents by providing trustworthy home cleaning so they can spend more time with their children. You see? So I'm building this business because, and then my personal why, I want to help the audience by providing trustworthy home cleaning so that, right? So there always has to be that, so what now, right? Like I want to help, parents by providing trustworthy home cleaning. If I stop right there, then it begs the question, so what, right? And so that's why we put a comma instead of a period and say, so that, and then we complete the sentence. Let me give you an example. A food vendor might write, I'm building this business because I want to share my family recipes with the community. That's a very strong personal why. Many of you have those, you know, home recipes, right, from great grandma or grandma that have been passed on generation after generation. And you are the person who knows how to make that recipe the best. That's a strong why, right? Let's continue. I want to help local families enjoy my homemade food by offering convenient meals. So what? So they can get connected to a culture of tradition. You see, when you create a why that it's so personal to you, this is what's going to help you in times of stress, in times when everything feels like everything's going south. And that's why we called the why the North Star. So I want you to encourage you that if you're watching this video to take 3 to 5 minutes to write your first draft. Do not overthink it, and we will have time to revise that at a later time. Now that we have talked about your why, we are going to separate two important ideas: vision and mission. Your vision is the dream, it is the future destination. It answers the question, where do I want this business to go? Your mission is the daily work. It answers the question, what do I do? Or who do I serve? Or how do I serve them? A simple way to remember this is vision is the destination, vision is the destination, and mission it's the roadmap. Another way that I like to put this is vision is the destination and mission is how I get there. For example, a business might have a vision to become the most trusted beauty service provider in Winslow. Its mission might be to provide professional, affordable, and welcoming beauty services that help clients feel confident. You see? So the vision is I want to be the most trusted beauty service provider in Winslow and surrounding area. How I am going to get there? By providing professional, affordable, and welcoming beauty services to help my clients feel confident. I want you to take note that I added a emotion that I want to attach to my clients, and the emotion is confidence. So my destination, I want to be the most trusted beauty salon. How I am going to get there? By providing X, Y, and Z to help my clients feel something. And so my recommendation is to always appeal to some kind of emotion or feeling on your customers, because that's what's actually going to earn their trust when they actually test and see that your product or service is actually very good. And that's how you start accomplishing your mission. So let's work on creating a vision statement. Your vision statement should describe the future you are trying to create, right? So in my previous example, I might not be the premier, most looked after salon in Winslow, but that's where I want to get in the future. And again, it doesn't have to be fancy. but it should feel meaningful to you. So, to help you create a vision statement, ask yourself in 5 or 10 years, what do I want this business to become? Do I want a storefront? Do I want to remain as a mobile service? Hmm. Do I want a team? What about a product line? Do I want a reputation for quality? A business that supports my family? A business that creates jobs? And the list of questions can continue. So, a business that serves Winslow or Navajo County, right? The point is, this is your time to envision where you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. For example, our vision is to become a trusted local brand that provides high quality, affordable services to families in Winslow and surrounding communities. Now, it's not fancy, it's very broad. And so you may want to add exactly what you are providing in this case. Tell us where the business wants to go, in other words. So, my recommendation is to write 1 or 2 sentences describing what you want your business to become in the future. And be specific, not fancy, but something that is meaningful to you. Now, let's talk about mission. Your mission statement explains what your business does every day. So, a strong mission statement should be clear enough that a customer, partner, or lender can quickly understand what you do and who you serve. Now, that's very important, right? Because it should be easy for you to disclose and communicate what is what you do and who are you serving. So, a helpful formula may be, we help blank by providing blank so they can blank. And if you notice, this was kind of part of your why. So, in other words, your mission, it's kind of a part of your why and the reason why your business exists. So, let's go back to my example of the cleaning service. We help busy families by providing dependable home cleaning so they can enjoy a cleaner space and more free time. If you have a landscaping business, we help homeowners and small businesses by providing reliable yard maintenance so their properties look clean and welcoming. Those are just examples. Your mission should include who you want to serve, what you provide, and then answer the question, so what? Which is the benefit your customers receive from your business. And that's what will make a strong mission statement. Take a few minutes to write a first draft of your mission statement. It does not need to be perfect today. Think of it as a starting point that you can continue to improve as your business grows. Now, let's talk about choosing a strong business name. A business name is one of your first marketing tools. It creates a first impression before customers ever meet you. A strong business name should be clear, credible, unique, long lasting, and practical. Clear means people can understand actually what you do, or at least get the right feeling from the name. Credible means it sounds professional and trustworthy. Unique means it is not too generic and will not be confused with many other businesses. Long lasting means it will still work if you expand. Practical means it can work on a sign, a flyer, on an embroidered hat or t-shirt, on a social media page, on a website, or maybe another piece of a uniform for your employees. Now, in Winslow, it is also helpful to think about your local community and the customers you want to reach. So, a strong name should be easy to remember, easy to pronounce, and relevant to your target customer. So, if you plan to serve customers beyond Winslow, consider whether the name will still make sense as your business grows into surrounding communities or expands online, right? So, if your business is called the Winslow Beauty Salon and you want to expand in Phoenix, it may make sense for some people, but it may not resonate with everyone, just as an example. So, what are some business names you can remember easily? And when you think of those business names, what makes them easy to remember? So, do that exercise. Take 3 to 5 minutes to jot down a few business names if you haven't already. And ask yourself that question. Are these easy to remember? And think about your vision statement. What do you see in the next 5 to 10 years? Will this name still resonate in the next 5 to 10 years? And then you can make a decision after that. Now, when you choose a name, it's also worthwhile checking the business name. And there's different ways to do that. Now, you may say, Alex, what do you mean by checking the business name? Well, what if the business name is already taken by somebody else in the state of Arizona, right? So before once you choose a business name and before you start spending money, because we get excited and start spending money on logos, signs, T-shirts, uh, stickers, what have you, it's best practice to check the business name. So in this step, you're gonna save time and money by doing just a quick check. Sometimes we fall in love with the name and the design of a logo, and then we start promoting it only to find out later that another business is already using that name, and that's not good. And it can feel ugly, right? After doing all that work. And so there are several ways to consider. If you are forming an LLC, you can check the business name at the Arizona Business Center, which is a platform by the Arizona Corporation Commission. If you're like, I would just want to have a trade name, you can still check that name and its availability at the Arizona Business Center, which is part of the Arizona Corporation Commission or the Arizona Secretary of State. And it's always good to check if the domain is available for that name, right? So yourbusiness.com, yourbusiness.org. And so you want to do a search on that on some of the on a browser and see uh, or a company that actually sells domains. So I want to encourage you to jot down 2 or 3 possible business names instead of having only one. Make sure that you tie that business name with your mission and your mission and your vision statement, and do a search. And this can save you tons of time and headaches down the line. Now, we are going to discuss business structures. So, you have chosen a name, you have created a strong mission and vision statement. It's time to start formalizing your business. And this is an area, where people can sometimes feel overwhelmed, but we are going to keep it simple today. Your business structure can affect things like liability, taxes, paperwork, ownership, and future growth. Some structures are very simple, while others require a more formal setup and ongoing responsibilities. So, common business structures that we see all the time is include sole proprietorships, and I'm gonna explain those into detail here in a minute. Partnerships, LLCs, corporations, and nonprofits. So let's break them down. A sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is often one of the simplest ways to begin when one person is operating the business. However, simplicity does not always mean it is the best choice for every situation. Why? Because a sole proprietorship in front of the government is the same as the person. So the person and the business are one and the same, which means that the person is fully liable for anything that happens on the business. An LLC, for example, may provide a little bit more separation between the owner and the business, depending on how it is established and maintained. And so that gives you a little bit of an extra layer of limited liability or security, if you will. The important point today is that not everyone should choose the same structure. The important point is that your business structure should match your level of risk, goals, ownership situation, and plans for growth. Now, I want to make clear, full disclosure, we are not providing any legal or tax advice here today. This is informational only for general educational purposes. So before making a final decision about your business structure, it is wise to speak with a qualified legal, tax, or financial professional. But we are going to talk about the differences, and so that you can have a clear guidance by the time you speak to a professional, it can help you make an educated decision. For many entrepreneurs, one of the most common questions is, should I start as a sole proprietorship or as an LLC? So let's talk about these two. A sole proprietorship is relatively simple. It usually involves less paperwork and it may be easier to start. However, the owner and the business are not legally separated. They're actually one and the same, which in certain cases, the person is fully liable for the business. Now, an LLC or a limited liability company is a more formal business structure. When properly established and maintained, it can provide a degree of separation between the business and its owner. It may also make it easier to establish business banking, enter into contracts, or work with certain vendors. However, an LLC also involves additional setup steps, fees, record keeping, and ongoing responsibilities. So, what I'm trying to get to here is that if you want to get started as soon as possible, and you are the only person managing and owning the business, then a sole proprietorship may be the best way to go. But if you have more time to weigh out uh, the cost of establishing a business, and you want to create that separation between the entity of the business and yourself, then taking the time to file and apply for an LLC might be worthwhile. So, how should you think about this choice? Ask yourself, what kind of risk does my business have? Will I be entering in people's homes, handling food, driving for the business, hiring workers, signing contracts, renting space, borrowing money, working with tools or equipment? The more risk and complexity involved in the business, the more important it becomes to get professional guidance before choosing your business structure. For example, a person is selling a few handmade items occasionally, and they may have different business needs than someone operating a food truck, right? Who needs to perhaps hire employees and sign contracts for events. You see the difference? So if I'm selling handmade items and I do it seasonally, maybe once in a while at the farmer's market, and I don't do it all the time, my business structure may have to be just different than the one who is handling money, food or money needing to hire employees. So use those examples to weigh out and make a decision. Now, a business structure can also affect how your business will be taxed. This is one reason choosing a structure should be not rushed. A sole proprietor generally reports business income on their personal tax return. Partnerships, on the other hand, typically pass income and losses through to their partners. LLCs can have the flexibility in how they are taxed depending on the situation. Corporations have more formal tax and reporting requirements. And then nonprofits are a separate category and must meet specific requirements to qualifying, for tax exempt status. This is where an accountant or a qualified tax professional can be valuable. The cheapest or easiest option at the beginning may not always be the best option for your business long term. Also, remember that taxes are not something to think about only once a year. Good tax habits begin with good record keeping. That means separating personal and business money, saving receipts, tracking income and expenses, and understanding which taxes may apply to your business. Now, let's talk about an EIN. EIN stands for Employer Identification Number. In simple terms, it is a federal tax identification number for your business. An EIN may be needed to hire employees, open certain business bank accounts, apply for some licenses or services, and handle other business related financial or tax matters. Even when a business owner is just starting, obtaining an EIN can be one step toward keeping personal and business activities more organized and separate. It can also help your business operate more formally when working with banks, government agencies, vendors, and clients. In this curriculum, the EIN is described as one of the foundational items that can help a business establish a more formal business setup. An EIN is issued at the federal level. So this is not the same as the City of Winslow business license or the Arizona business registration or the TPT license. It is a piece of the larger business setup process. Now, you may need an EIN if you plan to hire employees, form certain types of business entities, open a business bank account, or apply for certain licenses or services. Some sole proprietors may not be required to have an EIN in every situation, but many still choose to obtain one because it can help with banking, privacy, record keeping, and organization. So here is a practical way to think about it. As your business grows, it becomes increasingly important to separate your business activities from your personal activities. That includes finances, records, taxes, and identifying information. An EIN can be one useful part of creating that separation and building more and more organized business foundation. So write this question down. Do I need an EIN for my business structure? Do I need an EIN for a bank account? Do I need a license process? This is one of the items you can research or ask a qualified professional about. Next, we are going to talk about Arizona's TPT license. TPT stands for Transaction Privilege Tax. In many states, people commonly use the term sales tax. Arizona uses a system called Transaction Privilege Tax, which is generally a tax on the privilege of conducting certain types of business within the state. This matters because some small businesses begin selling products or services without realizing that they may need to register for TPT and properly report and remit the taxes that apply to their business activity. Activities that may be subject to TPT can include retail sales, prepared food, online product sales, mobile vending, pop-up sales, equipment rentals, and certain contracting activities. The keyword is may. Not every business needs a TPT license, and not every type of business activity is taxed the same way. The safest step is to verify the requirements that apply to your specific business before you begin selling. This is especially important for participants who plan to sell goods, prepare food, products at events, items online, or operate as vendors at farmers markets. So make sure you understand the TPT requirements that apply to your business before you begin making sales. So let's make this more practical. Who may need to check TPT requirements? So food vendors definitely should check. Retail shops, you should check. Online sellers, yes. Top vendors, yes. Contractors, yes. Equipment rental businesses, they should also check. Home-based businesses that sell taxable products, yes. Sometimes people assume I am small, so it does not apply to me. Or I sell from home, so I do not need anything. Those assumptions can create problems. Being a small business does not automatically make you exempt. Operating from home does not automatically make you exempt. Selling through social media does not automatically make you exempt. The right approach is to ask, what am I selling? Where am I selling? Is this activity taxable in Arizona? And do I need a TPT license? So write down whether your business sells a product, a service, food, rentals, contracted work, and this will help you identify which requirements you need to research and find out if you need a TPT license. Now, we are going to bring this closer to home. In addition to federal and state requirements, businesses operating in Winslow should check local City of Winslow business licensing requirements. This matters because state registration and city requirements are not always the same thing. You might have an EIN and still need a local license. You might form an LLC and still need to check city requirements. You might have a TPT license and still need local approval depending on where or who you operate. How you operate. So different types of businesses may have different local considerations. A storefront, home-based business, mobile vendor, food businesses, contractor, or even a vendor may each have different requirements. For Winslow entrepreneurs, one of the best habits is to contact the City of Winslow or review the city's business licensing information before opening, advertising, selling, or signing a lease. In this slide, it helps us organize the different levels of business requirements. So you see, at the federal level, you may deal with the IRS for your EIN and federal taxes. At the state level, you may deal with the Arizona Corporation Commission if you are forming an LLC or corporation. You may also deal with the Arizona Department of Revenue for a TPT license. And then at the city level, you may need to check with the City of Winslow for local business licensing or operating requirements. Let's walk through an example to tie all of this together. Imagine someone wants to start a food vending business in Winslow. Maybe they want to sell prepared food at events from a pop-up booth or eventually from a food truck. What should they research? Well, first, they need a business name and should check availability before investing in branding. The second thing that is recommended is they need to decide whether they will operate as a sole proprietor, an LLC, or another business structure. And then third, they may want to they may need an EIN for banking, licensing, or hiring. Fourth, Because prepared food can involve taxable sales, they should check Arizona TPT requirements. Fifth, they should check the City of Winslow business licensing and local operating requirements. Sixth, they may need health department, food safety, or food handling approvals, and that's typically dealt with at the county level. Seventh, they should consider insurance requirements and any rule that applies to events, vending locations, or mobile food operations. In this example, it shows us why business basics really matter. A food business, it's not just about cooking, it's also about compliance, safety, access, customer trust, and day-to operations. Now, the question is, what risks might a food business face if it skips the steps? Think about that. Let's do another example. Let's talk about an online seller, someone selling from home. This could include handmade products, clothing, desserts, crafts, beauty products, or other goods. Many people think I'm only selling from home, I'm only selling on Facebook Marketplace or Instagram or TikTok. So they do not need to check anything. But that may not be true. They still need to think about their business name, business structure, EIN, TPT requirements, City of Winslow home based business, or local operating requirements, and any food or product specific rules that may apply. If they sell taxable products in Arizona, they should check the TPT requirements. If customers pick up items from their home, if they store inventory, if they prepare food, or if they use signage, they should check City of Winslow requirements. If they ship or deliver products, they should also have a system for tracking sales expenses and customer records. The point is not to scare anyone here. The point is to help entrepreneurs start correctly so they can grow with confidence. So I have a question for you. Does your business operate from home, online, mobile at events, or from a physical location? Write that down because the answer can affect that what requirements you need to research before you open or continue operating your business. So we are now going to bring everything together into a mini business foundation activity. You are going to write down your business idea, your why, your draft vision, your draft mission, possible business names, possible business structure, and any licenses or registrations you need to research. Now, this is not a final legal document. It is a working page. So the purpose is to get your ideas out of your head and into paper. A business becomes easier to build when you can see it clearly, kind of like a snapshot. If you cannot explain your business simply, customers may not understand it either. This activity helps you clarify that. So, an activity that we encourage is take about 10 minutes so that you can think about these examples. Do I need a TPT? Do I need a City of Winslow license? What kind of structure do I want to have? What about my business name? Does it resonate where I want to be in the next 5 to 10 years? Do I have a vision or mission statement? Think about all those things and take time to write those down. Now, let's talk about some common mistakes. These are not listed to criticize anyone. These are listed because many entrepreneurs make them, and we want you to help you avoid any unnecessary headaches and stress. One common mistake is choosing a business name without checking availability. Another is mixing personal and business money. There are so many mistakes that we can make, and I have made many of these mistakes. And so we're listing this down so that we can help you avoid them. Also, Before you start spending money on branding and marketing, make sure you clarify the business foundation. Sometimes I've seen clients who start an LLC with a specific business name, and then 6, 8 months down the line, the entire business product has changed because their focus has changed. And they feel now uneasy about their existing business name. And so they have to start again. So take the time, slow down, answer some of these questions that we posed here today. And if you're already operating, take the time to take a pause, think about everything we covered today. And if you need to make some tweaks, right now is the time to do that. So let's wrap everything. Today, we covered the business foundation of your business. You worked on your why, your vision, mission, business name, business structures, EIN, Arizona TPT, and even local City of Winslow, City of Winslow licensing considerations. The goal was not to finish everything today. The goal is to begin building with intention. So before next week, your homework is to review your foundation worksheet, which we're going to be providing you, refine your why statement, draft or improve your vision and mission statements, make a list of 2 or 3 possible business names, write down what structure you are considering, and most importantly, write down what you still need to verify before launching. Next week, we'll take this foundation, everything you learned today, and we will turn it into a business model using the business model canvas. That means that we will begin looking at customers, value proposition, channels, revenue, costs, partners, resources, and activities. Remember, a successful business is not built only on passion or talent. It is built on clarity, consistency, and structure and action. So I'll leave you with one question. What is one thing you are clear about now that when you started today? Thank you so much for watching this class, and we'll see you guys next week.